here I was thinking I was going to play Hylix 2, but then this happened.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I wanted to make a quick video on a game that I'm really excited about. It's called Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. It's based off of the hit TV show Record of Lodoss War. I picked it up last month and I've been chomping at the bit to play more because it was only an hour long due to it being an early access game. But the gods have blessed us on this day with an update. So what does this update bring to the table? Well, it has a new level known as Stage 2. This stage has a castle vibe with lava ruins the further you descend in the castle. There's a handful of new enemies, new weapons, power-ups, a new ability, a liar's dice minigame, and 2 new great bosses. So there's 2 small changes that they made to the game that I want to quickly touch on before I move on to the list. So they reined in the magic so that you can't spam it to kill bosses super quick like you could in the early build of the game. And they also added this new meat corpse in certain areas, typically before bosses, so that you can hit it and level up your spirit to max level so that you can go in and fight the bosses all powered up. This meat corpse seems to trivialize a specific boss in Stage 2, but more on that later. I said they got new enemies, and these new enemies are these bow goblins that can shoot you from a distance, a centipede that shows up in 2 rooms. In a certain room, if you're not careful, it can knock you down on spikes. There are new skelly bellies that don't resurrect, but they can block your attacks. Red and blue fairies that shoot beams of elemental damage at you. There are these fairy bubbles, which are whatever. A dumb firebird that killed me a couple times. Axe throwers that can yeet axes at you. Overall, these enemies do hit harder, and I actually died a couple times playing through the new content, so that challenge is very welcome after the first stage being such a breeze. There's a few new weapons added to the game, only 2 being really notable. There's a new greatsword archetype that has its own unique animation. There's also a bow that shoots 3 arrows at once. And there are a bunch of other random weapons that can drop from some enemies and can be found in the world. Gim also has a bunch of new high-level items, but they're very expensive. The Wind and Fire Spirit got some love in this update, where you can find a fire-specific upgrade and a wind-specific upgrade for your spirits that are a nice buff to damage. And the spirit now flies towards the enemies to attack them passively. A new magic spell got added to the game that works similarly to your base magic skill, but it does more damage and throws rocks at the enemy. At a certain point in the level, you will pick up a double jump ability, which makes getting around a lot of fun. And it's nice not to always have to rely on the wind spirit to get out of tricky situations by floating your way out of them. Now you can just delay a second jump. A liar's dice type minigame makes its way into the game if you want to make some easy or quick cash so that you can buy Gim's overpriced items. But I feel like it might overwhelm people because the board's so big, but essentially you just want to put, like, I guess the least amount of coins on each tile to better your odds at winning. But then again, I only played it a couple times, so who the fuck knows. Boy oh boy, now we're at the bosses. So 2 new bosses. A boss where you fight a duo, Efri and a Jinn, and this boss really lets the mechanic of hot swapping between fire and wind spirits shine. It's a really challenging fight and reminds me a lot of bullet eating to power up your laser in Ikaruga. And then there's Shooting Star, the dragon, at the very end of the level. The sprite for this dragon looks amazing, and the fight is extremely difficult if you don't abuse the meat corpse in the room. So like I was saying in the beginning, they added these meat corpses that you can beat. You can beat your meat and get essentially endless levels on your spirits, which if they're maxed out, they heal you. So this room gives you infinite healing, which just completely trivializes the fight. Otherwise, the boss fight would be challenging, difficult, and very rewarding once you beat him. I almost forgot to talk about the music. It slaps. This might be a controversial statement, but this game is way better than Symphony of the Night. I know it's an early access game, but if you like Symphony and you like elf cuties, pick it up.